Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Hey, today I'm going to be doing a beginning guitar lesson. Now this is all about something that I see a lot of guitar players skipping, and over the years of touring I've seen a lot of guitar players just ask me to kind of give them a refresher on their first position strumming chords. Now I know a lot of you out there who are metal and like gent guitar players and you're into rock, all kinds of different styles, are like, why do I need to learn how to play the first position chords if they're just for older songs? Well, I don't know how many times somebody's asked me on tour when we pick up some acoustics or something, how do I do an F major chord, how do I do a B minor, which of course is the beginning of Hotel California, but that's also the first chord of Caramel. Is it Caramel? No, Dangerous by Sleep Token. So there's new songs, old songs, they all use this strumming stuff in the first position. And it's not just about country, it's not just about classic rock, and really today's lesson is just about memorization. So at some point everybody learns how to strum chords. Maybe you forgot a couple of the chords. This is the absolute best way to keep them memorized. That way you can always bring them back and be able to utilize them. I also very recently did a reaction video to Falling in Reverse with Marilyn Manson. That started out with just first position strumming chords in E minor. I've had 2 songs in a row from Sleep Token that I've taught to people that have first position strumming chords in them. So it's not like it's just for old music. It's not like it's just for strumming acoustic guitars for country. So if you don't remember these, then this will be just a memorization thing so you can remember them. And the best way to do so is to just go A through G. Now you want to do this with major, minor. It's always good to know your 7th chords, your 9th chords, and then if you really want to get intricate with it, you can learn your diminished chords, which are great for metal and extreme music. Those are your kind of chords like that. And then also you can learn your jazz chords. And really, it's just important to learn all of your chords, you know what I mean? Why be limited? So whether you're trying to learn majors, minors, today is all about A through G. If you already know these chords, go ahead and skip to another one of my videos. And if you don't, or if you're like, damn, how did I do the C? Or what was it A major like? If you're kind of confused and you haven't thought about it in a while, this is called a chord gauntlet. And the point of it is just to strum each chord 5 times. We're going to switch to the next one, go A through G, over and over again. Now once you get these, I will make a separate video for just the first position minor chords, and then we'll do 7ths and diminished because those are very useful. Perhaps we'll do maybe like a 9th chord or something like that as well. Alright, let's start out. So A major chord, in case you don't know this, you want to count from your top string down to the 3rd one down, put your middle finger underneath and your ring finger underneath of that. You want to strum everything except for the top string. So that's A major. Now for B, you're just going to do everything you just did there. Move it up to the 4th fret, and then you're going to have your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the high string. So this is pretty simple stuff, but everybody should know it, right? You can also do the power chord version of this, which is a lot easier. It doesn't bother me any as long as you memorize it and the name of it. So, or like I said, you can take the A, move it up to the 4th, and put your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the E string. Now C, we're going to be 1st fret, 2nd string up, skip a string, 2nd fret, ring finger on the 3rd on the A string, which is a C note. And if you need to pause the video just to get some of these down, that's totally cool. I'll try and add chapters to this. So there's your C chord. Like I said, 3rd fret, A string, 2nd fret, D string, 1st fret of the B string. Right? And I just did a video on this. We're going to do D next. And this is the chord that you will learn your first major arpeggios through. And it's going to be the 2nd fret of the E string, the 3rd fret of the B, and the 2nd fret of the G string. It sounds good to strum everything except for the top 2. right, we're going to move on to E major. Now, E major is 3 strings up to the G string, 1st fret, and then we're going to have our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. You get to strum everything with this, just like that. Now for the F, this is, for some reason, often the major chord that everyone forgets how to play. You're just going to fret both of the 1st strings on the highest 2 strings, so like that. Then 2nd fret on the 3rd string up, 3rd fret on the D string. Now, I learned all these old chords from my dad. My mom and my dad both played guitar, but I also learned these out of Mel Bay books, which they're kind of original old school books. They sold to people with chords, and I also learned them again in classical class in college. So you can either fret it like this, which is more like a power chord, right? Or just with the ring finger, the middle, and the 1st. Like I said, you got to be able to get your finger sideways all the way to the end of the strings, and you're going to be pressing down both the high string and the B, and then on the G string, 2nd fret, on the D string, 3rd fret. Just like that. And then G, which is another chord that people play in multiple different ways. All right, I'm going to show you the old Mel Bay kind of school book way of doing this. We're going to have our middle finger on the top string, the lowest string, on the 3rd fret, index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then we're going to have our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. So low E and high E both are 3rd fret, like that. And an index on the 2nd. Now, for all intents and purposes, most people will put their ring finger on the next string up, on the B, and then their pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the E. It's just a little bit more full sounding. And the reason why a lot of people like to do this, because in a lot of songs you can just move your top 2 fingers down a string, and then again, and then back up, and then back up to play a simple chord pattern. So there we go. Like I said, I'll add chapters to this, but these are pretty simple. You can kind of learn them anywhere. But the purpose of today is not to learn these chords. Like I said, anybody can show them to you. This is very beginner, simple, first couple lessons kind of stuff. The point is, no one ever tells you that for memorization, for later, always just run through them in alphabetical order. So go A through G major, A through G minor, A through G 7th, A through G 9th, A through G sus, and then learn your diminished chords. And I mean, you can even move on further than that, but I mean, for 1st position chords, your major, your minor, and some 7th chords will get you, and 9th chords will get you through almost every song you can possibly imagine for strumming. So let's go ahead and go through this again. The whole purpose is that you can very neatly and cleanly go from an A, like we described before, to the B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So the gauntlet is playing through all of them. Try not to mess up. Start with A, go through to G. And I'm strumming each single chord 5 times, starting with downwards. And then after I'm done with the last strum, I pick up my fingers. You're going to strum upwards in between and then switch. So there you go. A through G, that's the chord gauntlet. Just try them really slow. Make sure that you're moving and everything sounds good. You're not hearing no muted out notes in between. And keep with it, guys. Keep shredding. I will see you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. But hey, that's not all. Go ahead and check the description of this video and check out my Amazon affiliate links and a link to my shop. And you can find my original paintings, you can find prints, hats, hoodies, t-shirts. All that stuff really helps out. Just watch more videos. There's ones right here, there's ones right here. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out.
Jesse, sing.